Hey, this is Chief Chris Womack. You know, one of the things I try to encourage all the employees here at the police department to do is get actively involved in your community just beyond your 8 to 5 job. Just recently we had an opportunity where several of my command staff was out at the sneak-a-peek for our newest high school, New Manchester High School. And we were out there supporting the community. We did a big giveaway with school supplies. In a matter of about 45 minutes, we gave out over $1,000 worth of school supplies. It was a huge event. And we had an opportunity to work with City TV out there and do some filming and talk about what we're doing in the community. Pastor John Citizen was out there, and he was sort of the host of the event. It was his idea for the police and the sheriff's department to get together and sponsor a community-wide event out there at the open house for our New Manchester High School. And let me tell you folks, if you've not had a chance to go out and see that new facility, it's a gorgeous new facility. I'm sure it's something that all of Douglas County can be proud of. So what I'm going to cut to now is some of the film that we did out there at New Manchester and what we did in the community that night. It was a tremendous turnout, and it was supported well. Enjoyed seeing the superintendent out there with us, as well as some of my other friends in the community. Hope you enjoy it.
One of the things that's made this event so successful, COP, Community of Peace, is partnering with Chief Chris Womack and Sheriff Phil Miller. Without these two gentlemen standing by my side, this event would not be possible here at New Manchester High School. The event tonight is all about giving free school supplies to every family who needs it, and partnering with local law enforcement and the sheriff department to make sure every student realizes that these two guys are not their enemy. They are our friends. That's I want to thank you, Sheriff Miller, and thank you, Chief Womack.
Thank you for including us, John. Appreciate being here with you.
This your level of law enforcement from a city standpoint have increased since you've been chief. I've watched it. From a citizen standpoint, from being in the community, you have taken the whole police department to a new level with your new facilities, your new cars, your new staff personnel. I just want to thank you. And Sheriff Miller, watching you over the past 8 years lead us in the county area of law enforcement. But you two guys working together have done a great job. But Chief, I'm going to ask you, what do you feel you can do as Chief of Police to build a relationship between law enforcement from a city standpoint and students?
Okay, well, I think at first it's just a philosophy I think that I teach when I hire even new guys that come in. I met with 7 new officers earlier today that came into my office, and we were sitting in our meeting room, and I told them, I said, hey, we're all in the same boat here. I'm no more important than you are. We just have different jobs we have to do. I handle the political side of police work, trying to get you what you need to do your job, and I'm going to hold you accountable and expect you to perform at a certain level if you want to stay working with us. And we tell these guys when we bring them in, I want you treating every citizen you come in contact with just like it's your mama, just like it's your daddy, just like it's your grandmother. Be as good to people as they'll let you be to them, as long as they'll let you be good to them. Now, sometimes we run with folks that being good don't work, and we have to take a different road with it.
Exactly.
But we're going to try to be as good to everybody as we can, and you know, that's what I've enjoyed, partnering up with the sheriff on all these things that we go out in the community and do. We stand shoulder to shoulder. You know, he's the county sheriff, I'm the police chief, but we're in the same boat too. And we're out here doing this, we all trying to get to the other side of the river. So we got to row at the same time so that we can get over there. So it's all about just being fair with people, being consistent with people, and letting a lot of times know what your expectations are. And you know, and it's working for us at the City Police Department right now.
Well, I tell you, what's working is your involvement in tonight's program. I mean, it's not very often you have a chief of police that goes into his pocket, find resources to help give back. And that's what I want people to understand, that Chris Womack is not just a person that's a chief of police, but he's born and bred a product of Douglas County, so he has an investment in this community. So I know you feel very personal with this Community of Peace program. How do you and Sheriff Miller work together in different programs? Tell me a little bit about that.
You know, we've got a couple of different programs going. I'm going to talk about one of them being the Fine Unit, is where you see these black patrol cars that say sheriff and police on them. Well, we're out there on I-20 actively every day, and we're trying to slow down this pipeline of money and drugs that's coming through, that's filtering out back into our community.
Yes, you're right.
That's having such a negative impact on all of our families. And we also have, under the sheriff's direction, we have a program where our detectives come together and form the Major Case Squad. And I'm going to let the sheriff talk a little bit more about that, because he's a little closer hands on that than I am.
Well, the Major K Squad, and thanks, Chief. The Major K Squad is made up of Douglasville Police Department officers and Douglas County Sheriff's Department officers, and it's a detective unit that works all the major cases in Douglas County and in the city of Douglasville. And working together allows us to share information with each other, and there's some conformity with all the cases that go to the district attorney's office. They're all worked in a similar manner, and those officers are just extremely diligent and the most professional that I believe you've ever seen anywhere, and they do such a great job. And working together saves this community money, and it's good for this community. It makes Douglas County and the city of Douglasville a safer place.
Well, again, tonight program COP, the Community of Peace, and that's why we chose that title, that acronym COP,
Great title.
because we want this new school to also realize that law enforcement is their friend. Because without law enforcement, we don't have that safety net to fall back on, or that safety and protection that we require as a community. So kind of expand on what other programs you have from a city perspective that allows your department to work directly with the community that may lead into the sheriff department.
Yeah, one thing that we're really involved in, another team effort, is the Youth Against Violence. And I'm not going to go into a lot of details because in a minute you're going to have my partner on here, Gary Sparks, my deputy chief, going into a little more detail about it. But, you know, this year together, the sheriff and I, we've hit already, going in from last school year, we've already we go out to the high schools and we shoot straight with these kids. We tell them, hey, we're here for you. We want to be here before you get into trouble. We want to provide information to you so that you know what the laws are. And a lot of these young folks don't understand how particularly the sex laws can affect them, and how that can get them into trouble real quick and in a hurry. And it's nothing that me, the sheriff, or their mama or dad, anybody can clean up sometimes once they cross some of those lines. So we want them to be informed so that they're hanging out with the right people and making good decisions. And you know, we've been down to Alexander High School. We've been down to Chapel Hill High School. We've been to D.C. And I tell you what, I was so impressed. And I remember particularly at Douglas County High School, which is my old stomping grounds.
Mine too.
And
Believe it or not.
we had every kid in the school in there. And Dr. Pritz got out there and he led it, because I was a little nervous. The other schools, we'd split it up and we'd had like two, either the freshmen and sophomore together, half the school at one time. At DC, we had every kid in the school in there, eyes on us. It was a huge crowd. Dr. Pritz stepped out to the middle of the floor and he said, young people, you know what I expect, and I better get it. For 50 minutes, you could have heard a pin drop. There were several guest speakers. We got up there, took turns. We've been working a lot with Monique Rivard, who is in that tragic situation of losing her son, Bobby Tillman, and the sheriff and I have both teamed up with her, and she's just been such an inspiration for me personally, how she has taken such a tragic event and tried to make it as possibly positive as possibly best she can in her family's situation of the death of Bobby. That was just senseless.
And that was a tough situation to have to swallow. But again, that's why we want to make, and I keep saying it, COP, because we want to make sure that this school, New Manchester High School, don't have the repercussions of what took place between Chapel Hill and Douglas County High School, because the event happened that it affected the whole community. But I want to thank both of you for stepping up to the plate, being the type of law enforcement leaders that you are, both from a county standpoint, from a city standpoint, to partner with FCA and other student ministries throughout the school system to make sure that we know we have people behind us supporting our programs. So I just want to say thank to both of you for sponsoring tonight's program, because without these two gentlemen, tonight's program would not be possible. I went to them personally and I said, look, I want to find a way to give back. Can you help me? And Chief Womack, without reservation, you said, what can I do? Sheriff Miller, again, you said, without reservation, what can I do? And when you have men in law enforcement that wants to step up to give back, it makes my job as a pastor a lot easier to serve the community. So thank both of you for your involvement.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes, sir.
You know, what we would really, the message that I really want to send to the people of this community is we need mom and dads to get involved with our children, and we need mom and dads involved in this school. And we need moms and dads to know where their children are and who they're with. And if I promise you, if you'll do your job, we'll do ours, and we'll all come out of this so much better.
That's right.
And if you don't mind, Pastor John, I'm going to put my mentor here on the spot for a minute, because it's that time of year, and there's a rumor been floating around that he's going to seek re-election for the sheriff's position here in Douglas County. And I wondered if if the sheriff would be willing to share any information with me on that tonight.
Well, I don't want to get political, but I'm going to run for sheriff again. I was born and raised in this community. I love it with all my heart, and I want to do everything in my power to keep it safe. And I have 40 years of experience, if that matters. So,
Well,
thank you for asking.
I tell you what, I can tell you he's made a difference to me, because being a young chief of an agency the size that I am, and in control now as much as I'm in control of, he's always one call away from me. And I don't care if it's the middle of the night or first thing in the morning, he answers that phone every time I call. I've gotten a couple of tight spots where I needed a little advice in situations that he could mentor me on, and I really appreciate the relationship I've got with the county sheriff. And I don't mind going on public here and saying it hasn't always been that way. But we're in this fight together, and we're in it to win it. You know, we're here because we love Douglas County, and this is where we want to be and where we both plan on staying.
Well, you two guys help me sleep a whole lot better at night. I feel a whole lot safer when my two teenage boys get out there in the community. And I'm glad that you decided to run for re-election. That'd be great to have you back in office.
Thank you.
And Chief, you keep doing a great work. Sheriff, you keep doing a great work. If there's anything I can help you with in any way,
Thank you, Sheriff.
please call on me. Thank you
Yes, sir.
again.
Thank you, Pastor John.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
There you go. Gotcha. You're welcome. See you later. Thank you.
We're here with Deputy Chief Gary Sparks from the City of Douglasville Police Department. And I want to thank you, Deputy Chief Sparks, for being with us tonight. COP, Community of Peace.
Okay.
And you all about that, because I see you all over the place working with different students, working with different school districts to make sure, well, within the school district, to make sure that law enforcement is always present from a city standpoint. Won't you share with me, because Chief mentioned earlier in a previous interview that you head up different programs within the city police department that you're specifically responsible for, and some of your department leaders are responsible for. Tell me a little bit about some of the programs you head up.
About 4 years ago, we started a program that we call Youth Against Violence. We wanted to express to the community that the youth in our community was against violence acts of criminal behavior. So what we did, we started a program, a year-round program that aimed at teaching our youth life skill and teaching them the law. And by teaching them the law and life skills, we hope in turn that our young people will make better decisions and choices while they're out there in the streets with their friends. So we hope that we are decreasing the amount of young people coming in contact with the police in a negative way. And we at the Douglasville Police Department, along with the Sheriff's Department, we're the ones that promoting this program, and we backing this program up with funds we take from drug dealers.
Really?
Yeah, so all you drug dealers, the Sheriff's Department and the Chief Miller and Chief Womack, really thank you, because we take that money and we train our young people how to be better and productive citizens.
Well, as a pastor, I would take that and say God will help the wealth of the wicked to bless the righteous.
There you go.
So basically, you're taking all these people who's doing illegal acts and turning that around to be a blessing to our young people.
Yes.
Now, I've been fortunate to meet some of your graduates from the Youth Against Violence, and I'll be honest with you, from a personal standpoint, I've heard great remarks about your program. I heard you're a little tough now.
Yeah, we
I
have
heard
tough love.
when you deal with Deputy Chief Sparks, he been known to lay hands on you.
Yeah, well, sometimes you need a little hands laid on, but because some hands not being laid on them at home. And
I understand.
And another part of this program is the parent We have parent classes at this during the Youth Against Violence program. So to help the parents is let the parents know what we at the police department and what at the sheriff department what we can do and what resources we can advise them of where they can get help.
Now, when is these programs being held?
We hold them every Saturday from 10 to 2 at the police department, 2083 Fairman Road, in our community center. So there are 4 hours each Saturday, and we also have, as I stated, the parent class where we trying to reach the entire family. That's
awesome.
what we're trying to do,
Awesome.
to build love and give that information to the entire family in hopes that our community will be a lot safer. And so this is one program, like I said, is the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department that we're teaming up again.
Well, let me say this. Any parent that may have an unruly teen or someone that may be outside what you feel is safe in the home and you need some help. You may have be a single parent without a husband in the home, or maybe a single father that needs help. Well, here Deputy Chief Sparks is telling you that there is a program available to help you find creative ways to bring that young person into a position of authority. Am I covering that correctly?
Oh, that's correct. And we have other programs as well. We have the Citizen Police Academy, which older people, I won't say older because, we, let's just say adults. So,
Much more mature.
Much more mature adults can come and, get an idea of what the police department is all about, as well as we work with the Boys and Girls Clubs. And we work with the Special Olympics. We just had the Special Olympics torch run in here.
Really? That's
Douglasville Police Department is we on board to help in that area as well. So we try to help and assist in the community in a lot of different ways, but only other than just
locking them up.
Other than locking them up, we try to get out there and we enforce. We like to have our officers to be a part of the community, to go out and coach. We have officers that coach in some of the little leagues in the area.
But what I'm hearing from you is prevention.
Prevention.
And I hear from you mentoring, big brother programs. You really stepping up and saying, look, we're not just here to lock you up. We're here to prevent you from being in that position to be locked up. So Deputy Chief Sparks, I want to thank you from a parent standpoint.
Yes.
For your leadership, working with Chief Womack, taking your deputies and your officers out there and doing what you do best, and that's making sure that we have a safe community. So again, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hey, before we cut, I'm going to step in here with these two guys because I just want to say, a lot of times it ends up, you're seeing Chris Womack's name in the paper, Chris Womack's face in the paper, whatever. But I'm telling you right now, if it wasn't for my big brother right here, he takes care of business so I can get out and do the politicking for the police department. And I am so blessed. Douglasville is so blessed to have this man right here, shoulder to shoulder with me, fighting crime every day and taking care of business at the police department and watching out for everybody. So Deputy Chief, I appreciate you.
This is my brother right here.
And citizens, I want y'all to hear and see what we're talking about. COP, Community of Peace. It do take a village to raise a child. Working with the City Police Department, Chief Chris Womack, Deputy Chief Gary Sparks, and partnering with Sheriff Phil Miller and the school system, I believe we all can make a difference and we'll have a safer community. Thank you for being with us.